How y'all doing? Just chilling, man.
We are ready. Good evening, everybody. This is your girl Portia, aka Laker Girl. Welcome to tonight's interview. All I ask that you guys like, share, and subscribe. If you guys are new, we have my co-host Angry Lakers Fan Media with us, and we have FYM from Lakers and Five with us. Welcome. We are just waiting on the special guest Michael Thompson. He will be here shortly.
Well, until he shows up,
Go.
damn.
Hey, you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, look at him. He got a special guest with him. What up, Mr. Thompson?
Little Roman. I don't know. He's got to go home any minute though. Look, see, that's my friends. See, say hi.
Roman.
No, you gonna stay here and
What's
watch
his
it?
name?
You gonna go?
Are we ready, you guys? Today we have special guests from ESPN 710 LA. You can catch them on the radios, calling Lakers games. The one and only Michael Thompson. Welcome.
Oh, thanks, guys. It's good to be here joining with my grandson Roman. But I don't know. I don't know how long he's gonna. What? No, see, listen. I'm talking to my friends. So you gotta listen. Okay, we're talking about the Lakers and the basketball. You like basketball? We'll see how quiet he can be. But he's 3 years old and he loves baseball and playing golf. So he's not into basketball too much yet. So I think he's going to take off and go hang out with his grandmother.
So who's his baseball team?
I guess whoever his dad is playing for right now is probably the Cubs.
Okay.
All right, Roman, take off. He's got to go home. We've been watching him all day. I tell you one
Got to
thing.
get that break.
Yeah, he comes here 9 o'clock in the morning, and it's nonstop. He won't leave my side. I am exhausted by the time he goes. He takes like an hour and a half nap in the middle of the afternoon. That's the only break I get from 9 to 5.
What is it?
Oh man.
That's a stick.
What's it for?
He's keeping me young.
What's it for?
Hey man.
Oh, she knows. Go ask Grandma. Gets full of questions. That's for sure.
You said you got it from 9 to 5?
From 9 to 5, he comes here on every twice a week, and basically I'm the babysitter because he won't leave my side.
Come on, Roman. Let's go.
Roman, go home. Go see your sister and your mother, and go with Mikey. No, he doesn't want to. He keeps saying, "I want to stay here." All right.
I'm going to start off with my first three questions, and then Angry will ask you three questions, and FYM will ask you three questions. My first question for you is, who is your favorite Laker that you played with in your era?
Well, that's a great question. I love them all. All they're great guys, but I would guess my favorite Laker was Michael Cooper, the newly minted Hall of Famer, Michael Cooper. His wife and my wife were very good friends, and he had his children who were a little older than my boys when Michael was born. But we always spent a lot of time at the Cooper house. Wanda was a great cook, so she would have us over there for dinner and pink champagne. Oh, I used to love that. So I used to go over there and hang out with Coop a lot. And I never used to see Magic and Byron, Kareem and Worthy and AC off the court because, I would go home, and the only time I'd really hang out with a teammate would probably be Cooper because his wife and my wife were very close.
My next question is, what are your expectations for this coming season for the Lakers?
Well, to win the championship, of course. All 30 years are thinking that way. But I think the Lakers are a solid playoff team. They have to be healthy like every other team. That they can if LeBron and Anthony Davis can play, I would say we play 82 games. If Anthony Davis can play 75 and LeBron can play 70, that'll be enough to get the Lakers in the playoffs.
My last question for you is, what was your favorite Kobe memory?
Boy, so many of them. How do you pick one? I guess my favorite Kobe memory was I had the privilege of seeing him, knowing him, talking to him off the court, away from all the lights and the cameras and everything, because obviously we traveled together. I'd see him working out in the gym alone, and I would be there alone with him. So I think just spending the off-the-court moments with Kobe was my favorites. If you talk about a basketball thing, him scoring 81 points, nobody's ever going to forget that. Or his last game when he goes for 60 points, nobody's going to ever forget that. But My favorite times, memories of Kobe is when he and I were just alone in the gym, just talking basketball or talking about life, and nobody else around because he'd be there so early working out. So we had a chance to just meet and talk, and just talk about life, talk about the game, talk about the history of the game, comparing eras, talking about great players and who he thought was great, who I thought was great, and those personal moments with Kobe are my best memories.
Awesome answers. I will go ahead and let Angry ask you 3 questions.
That was awesome answers. Now, thanks for coming over here, Mr. Thompson. I'm going to put you in the spotlight for a minute, if you don't mind. If you don't mind, it's just one question that I really want to ask you. Um, who are you going to be cheering for when the Lakers play the Dallas Mavericks?
I always pull for Clay to have 50 points, to play great. And if he wins, I'm thrilled and happy for him because he's my son. He's your child. No matter what your child does in life as a career, you want them to be successful and enjoy their career, what they're doing, and have fun with it. So as long as Clay plays well, and if he wins, I'm happy. If the Lakers win, I'm happy. So that's I always pull for Clay to have a great game. And then whatever happens, and I'll be happy with it.
That's what's up. All right, next question. I heard you was a wrestling fan. Is that true?
Yeah, I'm a big wrestling fan. Not so much of the current wrestlers, except I do follow the bloodline with Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. I do follow the bloodline feud that's going on. But the rest of the wrestling, I sort of phased out from it because a lot of my favorite wrestlers, Stone Cold, The Rock, Ric Flair, The Undertaker, all those guys sort of aged out. They got old. They had to retire. So this new current era of wrestling, the characters, the personas, the personalities aren't the same as they were 25, 30 years ago. So, but the bloodline and Paul Heyman, they keep me going. But other than that, that's only really the storyline I follow in wrestling. I sort of soured on the rest of the wrestling because it's gotten too cartoonish and all the great characters. And if you remember, if you were a wrestling fan growing up like I was, you remember every wrestler like Eddie Guerrero, people like that, when they got in front of a microphone, they could really sell a match. They captivated you with their rhetoric, with the way they could promo an upcoming event. These current wrestlers, they can't do that. You got a couple of guys who are good talkers. You got Kevin Owens. You got obviously The Rock when he comes back. You have, let's see, who's another? You got MJF and AEW. He's a great mic worker. They can really work the mic. So it's only like 3 or 4 of those guys now left in wrestling who could really sell you when they're out there promoting an upcoming match. The rest of them don't have what they would call mic skills like they had 25, 30 years ago.
I agree with all that. And I'm gonna keep my last question based on based on the wrestling part. Would you ever be considered being like a color commentator for wrestling if you wasn't doing it for the NBA?
Oh yeah, I would love to, man. Are you kidding me? I'd be on one of the broadcasts, especially like I said, 20, 30 years ago when it was really fun to watch Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. Much more fun and entertaining than it is now. I would love to be out there with good old JR. That would have been Jim Ross. That would have been one of my idols. I grew up with Gordon Soley down there in Florida wrestling. He's a legendary wrestling announcer too. So, oh yeah, I would love to be on the telecast, talking, shooting it up, and with Taz and all the guys, so Chris Jericho and some of the guys who do it now. So that would be so much fun.
Thank you for answering my question, Mr. Thompson. We're gonna move it to FYM. See what he got for you. FYM, you there? You on mute?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, sorry about that. I just want to say first, I want to thank Laker Girl and Angry for having me up here, and I also want to thank you, Mr. Thompson, for talking to somebody like me, because I just feel honored right now. It's an honor to be able to talk to you, and I just want to
Yes, sir.
say that first. And the one question I would have is like with me, one of my favorite coaches was Larry Brown because of how he did so much with so little. And I was wondering, in your experiences, who would one of your favorite coaches be and why?
Yeah, so many great coaches. I love Chuck Daly, even though they beat us in one year, of course. But he he was a players coach. He understood players. Players liked playing for him. So I like Jack Ramsey, who was my first coach when I came into the league in the Portland Trailblazers. Another guy who really understood the game and treated you like a man. Obviously, we all know about Pat Riley, but Chuck Daly was cool. Phil Jackson, of course, was cool the way he let the guys be their own selves and figure out things on their own. And if they needed some advice, if they came to him, he had the right advice to give them. So players like coaches who are willing to listen to the players and treat you like a man, as long as you lived up to your responsibility and acted like an adult and acted like a professional. And the coaches that treated you in kind and didn't treat you like you were a child when you're in your mid-20s or early 30s in the NBA.
That's awesome. I'm gonna stick with coaching for a second because I'm curious as to out of all your coaches, this can be professionally and before you became a professional. Who was your favorite coach and why?
Probably my high school coach, Jake Caldwell, who passed away last summer. He was the one who introduced me to basketball, got me started in basketball at 17 years of age at Miami Jackson High School in Miami, Florida. So my high school coach, even though I loved all my coaches and respected them all, he'll always be my favorite because he was my first. We had the greatest high school team in the country in 1974 under Coach Caldwell. So he was the one who got me started in the right direction in basketball. And he always was a cool guy, tough guy, no nonsense guy, treated us like young adults. But he was demanding, but not unreasonable. So he was the one who got me started in basketball. So he'll always be my favorite.
I like that answer. And the last question is just like the coaches, but it'll be a player that you play with. Who was one of your favorite people playing with and why throughout any team, whether it's professional or before you became professional?
Clyde Drexler, because the guy, he came in as a rookie. He was cocky as all get out. Couldn't tell him nothing. He thought he knew everything, and he played like it too. He backed it up on the court. And he's a great guy to be around, always in a good mood. Practice would be at 10:30 in the morning. Clyde would show up at 10:29 and kill us all in practice. I said, man, how do you walk in here at 10:29 and practice at 10:30 every day? Aren't you afraid of being late? But somehow he figured it out. But he was a great competitor, great player, and a very nice young man to be a teammate of. And he'll always be my favorite teammate of all time. Clyde Drexler, Clyde the Glide. What a great player he was. And great athlete, could play any sport, whether he picked up golf or tennis, played softball or hit a baseball. He could do it all. He was just a natural athlete and a lot of fun to play with.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Those were some awesome answers. I'm going to throw it back over there to Laker Girl. Thanks again, Mr. Thompson.
I have a bonus question for you. What are your expectations this year on JJ Redick's coaching staff?
I like him.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Ann.
And what seed do you see the Lakers in this year?
Great question about the seeding. If everybody's healthy, I think they could be a 4th, 5th seed because the top 3 teams in the West are in no particular order are Dallas, Minnesota, and Oklahoma City. I think Denver's going to take a step back after losing Caldwell Pope and Reggie Jackson. I don't know if Christian Brown and Peyton Watson are ready to step in and contribute as consistently as those guys did. So that remains to be seen. But I think the Lakers will be anywhere from 4th to 7th. That's how tough the West is. Because you got to remember, Ja Morant is coming back too. And Memphis is going to be the real deal when Ja gets back in there because they had a lot of injuries last year.
Mm-hmm. That's what got me scared, Mr. Thompson. I'm nervous.
Yeah, people forgot about Ja, man, because he missed so much time last year. People forgot how great a player he was and how tough Memphis was when they're healthy. So you got to factor them into the equation too. But I think the Lakers are anywhere from 4th to 7th in the West because the top 3 blessed with health are Dallas, Minnesota, and Oklahoma City in no particular order. And then we'll see what happens after that. And as far as what was that first question? The seeding and then JJ Redick and his staff. Yeah. I like JJ Redick. I think giving a guy like him a chance, I think is good instead of bringing in a recycled coach. Give somebody with fresh ideas a chance. That's what they did with Steve Kerr. Look how that worked out. That's what they did with Pat Riley. When he wasn't, he was a fresh new coach that never really did it before. That turned out pretty well. And JJ's a smart guy. He's been a winner his whole life. He didn't win a championship, but you can tell he knows basketball and he has the respect of the team already. So I think it's exciting to have a new, fresh ideas and a fresh outlook from a brand new coach. And I think it's Laker Girl, it don't hurt to have a good looking guy like that on the sidelines. He looks like a young Pat Riley.
They put a hell of a coaching staff around him too. I like that. A lot of
Yeah,
smart minds around him.
yeah. Nate McMillan, Scott Brooks, two guys who've been deep in the playoffs before, longtime veteran coaches. So yeah, it's good to have that kind of experience around him.
Okay. If you don't mind, I got one question I want to ask you concerning the Lakers. Who are you going to be watching more closely on this Lakers roster coming up?
Yeah, who's going to be under the most scrutiny? Who needs to take his game to the next level to help out AD and LeBron? It's got to be Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves has to take his game to, I would say, all-star level or close to all-star level. He's got to be, when people talk about the guards in the West who's got a chance to make the all-star team, his name needs to come up. So I think this will be his fourth year coming up. So he needs to take his game to another level and be that consistent third guy that LeBron and AD are going to need every night. And I think he's capable of doing that. If Austin Reeves can play up to an all-star level this year, that'll make the Lakers even tougher.
That was probably the answer everybody was looking for because we're waiting for Austin Reeves to truly elevate. Because right now, he got like a mixed fan base going on. You got the side that hate him, the side that love him. As long as he's a Laker, I personally want him to do well. So, I mean, I hope he does elevate into getting in those conversations for All Star, or at least getting some votes on the ballot just to show that he, did what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, Austin's got a lot of talent, man. He's one of the best creators off the dribble in the game, creating his own shot. People don't really recognize that enough because he doesn't look athletic like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander or Kyrie Irving, but Austin can really handle the ball well and create his own shot and get to the foul line. So he's one of the best in the game at that. And if he continues to improve on that offensive side of the game, he can say average around 20 points a game. I think he's capable of doing that.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Especially on the nights where AD or LeBron decides to take a rest. I can see him elevating and scoring at least between 20 and 25 points a night.
Yep.
Or
Exactly.
depending on whoever we going against. Because
Yeah.
like you just said, a lot of teams in the West have got better over the summer.
Oh yeah, the West is loaded, man. I think even teams like Golden State and the Clippers, as good as they are, I think they probably gonna have to fight to get into the play-in, like 9th and 10th seed, because the top 8 teams in the West are just loaded.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough, especially for Golden State. It's gonna be tough. Um, they got hit with a huge blow. When your son departed. I'm sure it may not seem like it now to Golden State Warriors fan, but he's gonna be missed. He's gonna be missed over there, and it's gonna show. It's gonna show.
Yeah, I
Um,
think. Yeah, they're gonna. Anytime you lose a great shooter like that, you're gonna miss him.
mhm.
Okay,
Well, I'm done asking questions.
I gotta ask this question, Mr. Thompson. It's like I'm curious as to what, in your opinion, what's the Lakers' greatest weakness and the Lakers' greatest strength, in your opinion?
Greatest strength is their versatility. They're really deep, and they can beat you with going big, and they can beat you with spreading the court. So they're very versatile and big. The weakness, I would guess, it's gonna have to be very consistent on defense, and that should be their key. They should come into the season and said we want to be one of the top 5 defensive teams in the league because we know they can score. They got scorers up and down this roster. No, and they're very versatile scorers too. Guys who can score a lot of different ways. But their main weakness last year was their defense wasn't as good as it should have been. So they've got to really improve on that end of the court. And a healthy Jared Vanderbilt will definitely help in that regard.
Definitely,
Yes.
because without Vanderbilt, Woods, and Cam Reddish all on the bench in the playoffs last year, that did not help.
That's right. They really miss those guys, miss their defensive presence because you need these days, man. You got to have solid, consistent wing defenders because that's where all the strength is now. Everybody's got wing scorers. They don't have the great centers anymore like they used to have. So everything's now 3-point shooting and spreading the court. So you better be able to play good perimeter defense these days.
Definitely missing that against Denver.
Yeah.
We can go to the chat to see if anybody has any questions for Michael Thompson. If you guys do, please put your questions in the chat and he will answer you guys' questions.
All right, if y'all got questions, it's time to add them now. You know, Mr. Thompson is a busy guy, so if y'all
Yeah,
got questions, put them down in there.
yeah. What's going on? That's right. I gotta go watch Hard Knocks here pretty soon about the Chicago. You guys like Hard Knocks? That show on HBO.
I'll watch it when it's usually a team I don't like.
Yeah.
I'm a Steelers fan, so
Oh yeah.
if it's a team I don't like,
They,
I'll just watch it.
you're, you're Steelers. They just need to start Justin Fields and just be done with it. Let's give the young boy a chance.
I'm in Missouri, Mr. Thompson, so I'm one of those fans of the new GOAT of quarterbacking. We all know who he is. I won't say his name.
Now, you know, a lot of people said it about Mahomes, and he's got 3 Super Bowls, and he is a special, unique quarterback, but he's not even halfway to Brady yet. So how can you
I,
call him GOAT?
Cause if once he win this year, it'll be 3 in a row, and ain't none of them done that.
That's true. It hasn't been done in a while, no question about it. And yeah, he's going to challenge Brady as the greatest quarterback ever. But you know, we can see he's on that path, but you can't put him past 7 Super Bowls yet. And Brady went to 10 Super Bowls, man, and won 7 of them. So
I
you know,
know, but the Spygate, Mr. Thompson, I can't overlook the Spygate.
and everybody cheats in sports. Everybody. Come on. We cheat every night in basketball. We foul guys and try to steal plays. And we try listening on their huddles. Everybody does that stuff. You ain't cheating, you ain't trying, right?
Right.
Straight up.
In the words of Eddie Guerrero.
That's right. Exactly. That's right.
I see some good questions in the chat.
We're going to start off with H. Davis. Who inspired you to play basketball?
Well, I grew up in the Bahamas. I grew up as a Wilt Chamberlain fan and a Jerry West fan. And so I would guess, and of course, as he got a little older, Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I loved him, and he was at UCLA. So I always wanted to be like those guys. And then my older brother, Colin, who is 12 years older than me, saw how tall I was getting and told me I should go to Miami, Florida, enroll in Miami Jackson High School and give basketball a try. So he really encouraged me to pursue that dream. Now, I wasn't thinking about the NBA back then. This is early 1970s. Things are different. 50 years later, it's a lot different now with kids in the 15 years of age are already thinking about the NBA. They're so much more advanced mentally and goal oriented than I was 50 years ago. I just wanted to go to high school, see if I could play high school basketball, and if I could get a college scholarship, sure, fine, that would be fine. But I wasn't even thinking about the NBA when I started playing basketball at 17. But I was 6'8" at the time, and my older brother said, you know, you might as well give basketball a shot and see what it could do for you. So I said, you're right. Instead of just hanging out in the Bahamas and fishing every day, I figured I'd go to Miami, Florida, and give it a shot, and it worked out okay.
That do sound good, hanging out in the Bahamas and fishing all day.
That's right.
Oh man.
Read off the next question if you would like to.
All right, the next question for you, Mr. Thompson, coming from the chat from Cuba. Shout out to Cuba. How did your experiences as an NBA player influence how you guided your sons in their basketball careers?
Well, that's a great question. And I just told them to respect the game. If God has blessed you with a healthy body and the ability to play a sport, no matter what sport it is, respect it. Don't disrespect it. Don't waste it. Don't take it for granted. And if you can go to high school, play high school basketball, try to work your hardest to see if you can get a college scholarship out of it. If you enjoy it. And number two, have a passion for what you do. You got to love it. You got to enjoy it. If you want to be successful at anything you do in life, and if you guys doing this podcast, you got to have a passion to do it, to make it the best you can possibly be. If you don't have passion in what you're pursuing, you're not going to be successful. So I just told them, as long as you love baseball or basketball, make sure you work your hardest and you respect your opportunity. Don't waste it, because coming up, I saw a lot of guys with so much talent, but they just wasted it because they got into drugs or they didn't take it seriously enough, and they just wasted their opportunity. I said, don't let that happen to you boys. Make sure you get everything you can get out of basketball. So that's what I advise them. Don't let a moment go to waste, because before you know it, you're going to be 35, 37 years of age, and it's going to be done. And you're still going to be a young man, but your career is going to be over. And you don't want to be thinking when you're 40, 42, sitting around with the boys, having a cocktail thinking, man, I could have been this, I could have been that. You don't want to be a 40-something-year-old saying that. So take advantage of the opportunity when you get it.
Safe to say they took notes.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? They always had that passion. I didn't have to push them. They love playing sports since they were Romans, my grandson's age, as you saw. When he was that age, they loved sports. At 5 years old, they wanted to play, and I never had to push them. They always had a passion to go out and play and love what they were doing.
That's right.
FYM, you can read off the next question if you would like to.
Okay, this is Empire Jeff TV. What Showtime Laker teammate struggled the most during those legendary Pat Riley practices?
Mm.
Struggled the most? What do you mean? Like had tough practices or?
Yeah, which one? Like when they were in practice, they just looked like they wasn't doing that good, but once they got out there in the games, they actually played better.
That never happened in practice.
Straight up.
Somebody asked that question. They realized who was on the Showtime. When you talking about Kareem, Worthy, Byron Scott, Michael Cooper, Byron Scott, you think those guys are going to struggle when you're that great? No, we had tough practices, and as far as everybody has a bad day at work, but as far as struggling over a long period of time, no, those guys were too great of players to be players who struggle. That happens to ordinary players. I was surrounded by legendary players.
Cool.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Showtime.
Shout out to Showtime Lakers. There is a question from Gerald Sports. Do you think Rob will make a move before training camp or at trade deadline? And one more question. If there was a star you would add to the Lakers team, who would it be and why?
Well, it would have been Clay, of course. But
There you go. There you go.
he had other ideas.
Straight up. What kind of question is that?
Yeah, I thought we were gonna had a really good chance to get him. We did. Came down to the Lakers in Dallas, and he chose Dallas at the last moment. So he's 34 years of age, and he's gonna make up his own mind, just like you and everybody else here on this podcast when you're that age. So we only can advise them and hope they take our advice. And as far as the Lakers and Rob Pelinka, he's not going to make a move before training camp. There's nothing out there to be made, any major move or anything. That trading deadline, I mean, that's always a possibility. If the team is struggling, sure, he'll look. But if the team is right in the mix in the playoffs, general managers, their phone lines are always open to take a call to see what somebody else has to say or to offer. But I don't think he'll be looking to do anything right away. But it's always a possibility come February. If things aren't going the way the Lakers think, that sure, they'll look to make a move. That's a possibility.
Okay. We got DJ from Lakers, that's the one that run Lakers in 5. He got a question, and it says, "Do you ever see Clay being a Laker before his career is over?"
No, not unfortunately. No. We had a chance this summer, and I thought it was going to happen, but this contract takes him up to age 37. If he wants to keep playing, that's up to him. But I told him to try to play until he's 38 or 39 because it's a great lifestyle. So why quit if you're still able to play like LeBron is demonstrating? But as far as him being a Laker, I think when he's done with Dallas, he's in Dallas, that'll probably be his last team. I don't know. You never know. But he'll always be able to shoot. Once you can always shoot like that, you always can shoot even when you're 40-something years of age as long as you take care of your body. But no, I don't think he'll be a Laker now. I thought if it was going to happen, it would happen this summer.
Mm-hmm. And I was pushing for it to happen. Trust me. As a fan, I was praying.
Yeah, all of us were. All of us here in the Thompson household were.
Avery, you could take the comment. You could read the comment from Major.
Oh, shout out to my boy Major, representing Major Level Entertainment. He said, "Hi, Mr. Thompson. Big fan here. Many fans don't know that your nickname was Sweet Bells from the legendary Walt Bellamy. How big of an impact was he on you?"
That's a great. That's some good history there to know that. He must be from the Bahamas or from Miami or something to know that. But yeah, Walt Bellamy was a great player, one of the more unsung and unknown great centers in history. He averaged like 20 points, 18 rebounds for his career. Guys can't do that today, centers in today's age. He was overshadowed, of course, because he played in the era of Wilt, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Willis Reed, Wes Unseld, legendary centers like those guys. So Walt was always overlooked, but he was a great player in his own right, and it's a compliment to be nicknamed after him because a lot of people need to Google Walt Bellamy and to see how great a player he was for the Atlanta Hawks.
Well, I just got me a history lesson. I didn't even know that.
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't
man.
even know that either.
He was a tough, big tough guy. Just nobody knows him because, like I say, he played against all those Hall of Fame centers, and he was overlooked, overshadowed by those legendary centers.
I got a question for you, Mr. Thompson. You don't got to say any names, but at any point in Clay's career, whether professional or before, did you disagree with something that one of his coaches was doing, and how did you handle it?
Oh yeah, all the time. Are you kidding me? Yeah, Clay would be hot. Like every shooter gets hot, and all of a sudden he'll come down the court for 4 or 5 possessions to not touch the ball, or they would take him out after he just made like 8 out of 9 threes, and they take him out of the game. I said, "What are you doing that for? You don't never take a guy out who's hot out of the game." But yeah, as sometimes he wouldn't be used enough. He would be sort of like used as a decoy instead of running plays for him. So yeah, a lot of times I'd disagree with the way that he was being used by the coaches.
We have a
Luckily,
question.
you didn't go LeVar Ball on him, huh?
Yeah, that's right. I should have.
We have a question from Big Baby Jonathan. Is the Showtime Lakers the greatest team of all in Lakers history?
The greatest team ever, the Showtime, as far as the Lakers history or NBA history?
I think
Lakers history.
Yeah, of course it is. Now, I used to argue this all the time with Kobe Bryant. Our Lakers Showtime team versus his Shaq and Kobe team. Of course, Kobe used to cuss me out and tell me his team was better than ours. So, definitely the Showtime Lakers. I like to think that the 86-87 team that I joined was the greatest Showtime team ever. 67 wins that year, or 65 wins, I think, maybe 67. And we were a great team. And also the team that Magic, when we were 11-0 in the playoffs going into the finals, and Magic and Byron got hurt. That was a great team too. But the greatest team I've ever seen was the 17-18 Warriors with when they added Kevin Durant. Nobody's going to beat that team forever.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that team was loaded.
Yeah.
As soon as he went, and I seen that he went, I started thinking about the next year. I'm like, ain't even gonna happen this year.
Yeah, no, that team was unbeatable. And if they could have stayed together and stayed healthy, they would have rivaled what Michael Jordan did with 6 championships.
Oh yeah.
I have a bonus question for you. How was the experience at Dodger Stadium throwing out the baseball with the former Lakers?
Man, baseball's so easy. I should have been a pitcher. That was not how easy a game is it to play. I just got up there and threw a strike right down the middle. I said, this game isn't so tough. I could have been a great pitcher. But then seriously, no, it was great to be there, man. To be involved in that, to be associated with all those great Lakers and be at Dodger Stadium in front of those great Dodger fans and that historic stadium, and be out there and experience all that and be recognized and appreciated as the Showtime Lakers. I was very thankful that the Dodgers did that, very grateful, and it was a lot of fun. It's always fun when you get to see your old teammates and we get together like that and celebrate special moments and special times. And we'll get together again in about 6-7 weeks when we go to Springfield for Michael Cooper's Hall of Fame induction ceremony. So that same group that was at Dodger Stadium, we'll be in Springfield to celebrate Coop being inducted to the Hall of Fame.
That's cool.
And congrats to Coop, man. He deserved it. He
Yeah.
deserved it.
15, 20 years overdue, but better late than never.
Yes. Yes.
Cooper.
So this will conclude tonight's interview. Michael Thompson, I just want to thank you again. I hope during Lakers season that you would come back again on my platform.
No, man, I'm tired of you, Laker girl. No, but let's have an update during the season and see if
Definitely. And Michael Thompson, I hope I get to meet you one day. I do plan to come to Crypto to a game, and I would love to meet you and John Ireland one day.
Well, you better come by. We always we're in section 111. That's where we broadcast from. So you better stop by and say hello.
Yeah, that's what he told me when I come to a Lakers game to just let him know.
All right. Yeah, definitely. We'll let's stay in touch and we'll do this again a couple times during the season.
Definitely.
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks again, Mr. Thompson.
All right, guys. Good. My pleasure. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Have a good one.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Bye-bye.
Now, that was a class act gentleman right there. Shout out to Mr. Thompson, man.
Shout out to Michael Thompson for coming on again. I just want to thank my co-host, Angry Lakers Fan Media and FOM for coming through tonight and supporting. If you guys are new again, please like, share, and subscribe, and leave comments down below on tonight's interview, your thoughts. On that note, you guys have a blessed night. This is your girl, Laker Girl. I'm out.
Peace out.